All right, Naughty Nation, here is the hour that you have been waiting for, that I have been excited to do. It is now hour 2 of the Nottywood Show. And in this hour, it's dedicated all to the outstanding band, Third Bridge. It's actually a duo. It's Scott and Craig from Minnesota. And these guys have a unique sound with some 70s, psychedelic 70s rock influencing. Influencing? I think I just created a new word there. Influences. And I've been playing them for the last 3-4 weeks on the Nottywood Show. I've been networking with them on Twitter and Facebook. And you can do the same if you like what you hear today. If this is your first time hearing the Third Bridge, I say it all the time, be sure to get to the Facebook page or their Twitter page at Third Bridge and let them know that you like what you heard and you heard them on the Nottywood Show. I want to thank the Crazy Mainer for providing that intro to the show, and of course Liz Tapia for her sultry and seductive voice in her show drop that she did for me. Thank you very much, Liz. Liz is the outstanding vocalist from the outstanding band Dark Beauty. Now, in this hour, I'm going to take you through some Third Bridge. I'm going to play the songs that have been in my phone for, like I said, 3-4 weeks, and I've been listening to. Also, at some point in this hour, we are going to world premiere, meaning the Third Bridge came up with a new song called Years, in parentheses, That Have Changed You. And nobody has heard this song except for those two and myself. And tonight, you will also hear it. So it'll be aired on radio for the very first time right here on the Nottywood Show. And I know I am thrilled and honored. And when they asked me if I would be interested in premiering their song, what could I say? I jumped at the opportunity. And then I thought, you know what? Because Third Bridge does a great job of networking and helping me spread the word of the Nottywood Show and independent radio. They do an excellent job on Twitter, tagging, and I think it's called tagging on Twitter, sharing the Nottywood Show links, sharing the show times. They've introduced me to another radio show out of India called Radio Float. And you know me, independent radio isn't about competition, it's about networking. And that is the new mainstream. And I've said it in the first hour. Evolution, my friends. Radio is undertaking an evolution, and you either evolve or perish. So this is what we've come to, hour 2 with the Third Bridge. And once I get this microphone thing straightened out, I will begin to set up interviews with independent musicians from all over the world. Now, all right, so yeah, the first song I'm going to share with you is called Observations. And that's one of the things I love about Third Bridge is their music is very inspirational. Even just the music, like if you take the lyrics and the vocals out of the songs, the music just gives you that inspiration to go out and strive to be better, strive to be good, positive reinforcement, if you will. And you loyal listeners of Naughty Nation know that I'm all about positive thinking, positive reactions. You know, it's called the law of attraction. What you feel, what you think is what you're going to attract. Well, Third Bridge's music, when I hear it, and you tell me how you feel. You tell them what emotions are stirred up for you when you hear their music on their Facebook page, on their Twitter account. But it's very positive, uplifting music, and it's definitely transcends emotions and the human spirit, if you will. But Observations, right off the bat, I can tell you this. The bass in this song is kick-ass. The rhythm section is just dead on. I love the rhythm section in this song. And there's a drop-off in the song. And I remember reading a quote, and I forget who said it, but silence is the most important part in a song. Remember that as you listen to these songs by Third Bridge. Observations, yeah. I'm sorry. I'm just so excited that my mind wanders, and I can't wait to get through this hour and share all these awesome songs with you, Naughty Nation. But instead of me jibber-jabbing about Third Bridge and their music, let's just get into the first song from Third Bridge, Observations. Take a listen, and I'll be right back to discuss more of this song, Naughty, Naughty.
Park tonight. He has no idea that I study his movements with my sheltered eye, a character to build. And I've been drowning in this lake now, damn near 20 years. It's a shame I haven't found my ladder out of here. Rabbits giving chase by a distant
Observations by Third Bridge. Did you hear the drop off in there? I told you it was great. I love how it just drops off. The music just boop. And that's where you really intently focus. Like, that's where you're really going to listen during that silence. And I believe that's what that quote meant, where silence is the most important piece of music. And again, the bass rocks, the guitar and the organ combination is wicked cool in there too. I love how they combine those two, like the guitar is playing and then the organ, kind of like a dueling type of thing. But yeah, the organ, and I'm wondering, Scott, Craig, I know you're listening. Thanks a lot, guys, for allowing me to premiere one of your pieces of art, years that have changed you. So that's great. But I'm wondering, and I think I asked this question before on a prior show, whether or not that's a Hammond organ, or I think you said that it might be a Hammond sound effect on a keyboard synthesizer type instrument. So that's great. And again, the rhythm section. Did you hear the rhythm section in there? That was Pessa. I love it. I love it. And this is two guys making this, just two individuals making this sound. Now we're going to get a little bit into Third Bridge. For instance, you can catch more of their music on reverbnation.com/thirdbridge. You can check them out on Twitter, Facebook, the usual suspect sites. Now, Scott has 7 years of classical music theory training, which he began at age 14. Whereas Craig is self-taught and started on ukulele at age 5, then got into the guitar in his early teens. There was 3 of them. There was Scott, Craig, and Bill. Bill was a good friend. He eventually passed away unexpectedly. And Scott and Craig kind of went their own way. They kind of went and did their own grieving and whatnot, and kind of lost touch with each other. And then I can't remember which, but one of their fathers had passed away. I think it was an obituary that actually got them back together again. And Scott and Craig started to work out some of the music that they had done over the years, the years apart. And Third Bridge was formed. So sometimes an unexpected tragedy in one's life will bring people together. And I think that's human nature, to want to be around people you know, people you trust, when tragedy strikes. Now, Bill had a 1971 Gibson Les Paul, and it is gorgeous. There's a picture of it up on RadioFlow.com's blog site, I think it is. If you want to see the picture of the 1971 Gibson Les Paul, hit up Radio Float, RADIOFLOTE, on Twitter, and I'm sure you can get the link. Or Scott or Craig can give you the link. I totally forgot to write down the link. But yeah, that 1971 Gibson Les Paul that belonged to their good friend Bill was left to Craig in his will. And some of the music that you hear today actually was made on that 1971 Gibson Les Paul. So it goes to show what music can do. It can be a therapy, it can be a relief, an escape, if you will. And when you're hearing these songs, you don't really feel any of the pain or any of the sense of loss, but they go a different direction with it. They want you to be inspired and provide a little bit of strength for you. And that's what it does for me. When I hear a song we're going to hear after the next one, Limitless, I really feel like I'm limitless. I feel like I can do whatever, whatever I set out to achieve, I can accomplish. And we need more of that in the world nowadays. We need more positive thinking, more positive actions, rather than focusing on what's wrong in your life or what's going bad in your life. Third Bridge has it down pat. Let's collectively smile. Let's collectively hold hands to get through the pain, to get through the despair, the strife, etc., etc., etc. You can sit and cry about things and bitch about things, or you can throw on some Third Bridge and dance. Whatever floats your boat, but whatever should be positive. Now, the next song we're going to hear is Vectors, and this song, the harmonies are fantastic in it. Liz, if you're listening, you're a vocalist. I'm sure you'll see what I'm talking about when you hear this song. The harmonies are dead on in this song. And Scott and Craig come from two different musical backgrounds. One was self-taught, one was classically trained. And their voices are totally different too, if you notice. So to get these harmonies down, one, it's got to take a lot of work and aggravation. And two, you got to be pretty freaking talented. So let's check out Vectors by the Third Bridge. Naughty. Naughty. You just heard Vectors by Third Bridge. Now, again, right in the beginning, it starts off with, very subtle, and then that guitar jumps out right at you. And I love that. I love when a song, they use the silence very well in their songs. They use it to capture your attention, which, let's face it, even doing radio over the last 6 years, I've learned the silence is where you're going to be intently listening. And I use it all the time when I'm talking to you, especially when I'm about to introduce a song. But that guitar, yeah, they use the silence, and the guitar comes out, grabs you, pulls you in. And again, the harmonies. Did you see what I meant about the harmonies? The harmonies are fantastic in this song. It also has what this song. When I hear this song, it reminds me how unique Third Bridge is because of their two of the offsetting musical styles that Craig and Scott have. They have a very unique sound, and in music, this isn't supposed to work. In music, where you got the classically and the rock, psych influence to come together and make music is it bodes to their talents individually, and I'm glad that they got back together and started making music again. And they're very humble too. They're very thankful that, oh, thank you so much for doing what you do, blah 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 blah. When we should be thanking them, I always feel that way. We should thank the musicians. It shouldn't be the musicians thanking us. We should thank the musicians because music is a huge part of the world. I mean, think about it. Music is everywhere. You can't go a day without hearing music. I guarantee you. Um, an old performer, Neil Diamond. I don't know how many of you remember Neil Diamond, but he had a song called "Beautiful Noise," and that's what he spoke to. That music, like the car horns, everything, the universe has a rhythm, and for us to tap into that rhythm and be aware of it is a special talent or observation, if you will. No pun intended, Scott or Craig. And Scott and Craig they've come together and created a unique sound that one I think should be played all over the world on every radio station, just like all the other bands that I play on the Nottywood show. And you can tell the unity that they have by in their songs. I feel a sense of a great chemistry between them, and it probably isn't all roses and tulips. I remember when I was in bands, it can get very frustrating, especially if you've got two contrastly different um, musical influences coming together. You got a sound in your head and you're trying to pass that along to the other person, and they're just not creating that sound that you hear inside of your head. I mean, it could get very frustrating, but thankfully for thankfully for us, Scott and Craig are able to make it work, and make it work meaning they are making some awesome music. Now, don't go anywhere, because the world premiere of their new single, Years That Have Changed You, is coming up very soon. I'm not going to tell you when. You're going to have to wait. It could be the next one. It could be the next song. Is it? Is it the next song, Rich Mahogany? I know that's what you're all saying. No, it isn't. It might be the one after that, though. I hope everyone got out and voted again. I'm going to say it again. I hope everyone got out and voted today. It is your American duty and right to vote in every election. And if you do not vote, you're only part of the problem. Or you're an illegal immigrant and you can't register anyways. And in that case, get the fuck out. Now, back to Third Bridge, Scott and Craig. One of the things that happens when I listen to a Third Bridge song is I find myself, normally I when I listen to a song, a few times, I'm listening to different parts of the song, focused on different parts of the music, or, vocals, lyrics, rhythm, lead, harmonies. But with Third Bridge, you kind of get taken into the whole thing all at once, which is excellent for any musician. I think that's one of the aspects of writing a song, is to get the listener to focus on the entire song as a whole. And Third Bridge does that. The next song I'm going to play for you really does that to me. It's called Limitless, and it's so far is my favorite song from Third Bridge. I think I've played it a couple of times on the show. And this song, it's got a groovy start. It's very inspirational. And again, great harmonies in it. So check out, just listen to the whole thing all at once. Right before the song, we've got a show drop that they did for me. Here is Limitless from Third Bridge. Naughty.
Hello! We're the Third Bridge, and you're listening to Rich Mahogany in the Nottywood Show. Naughty!
Safely more my mind. Start to slip and break away and leave me far behind.
Limitless by the Third Bridge. One of the things I would like to know, and I'm sure some of you out in Naughty Nation would like to know this too, Craig, Scott, the name Third Bridge, where did it come from? How did it happen? Is there a meaning behind it? I mean, ever since I was little, band names have always intrigued me. Like Nottywood, for instance, I'm sure everyone is wondering, how did Nottywood, the name Nottywood, the spelling, the phonetic spelling, and whatnot come about? How did Third Bridge, the name, come about? And don't put it up on Facebook or Twitter. Email it, the answer to me, nottywood3@gmail.com. And I will be sure to, on next week's show, to include Naughty Nation in that. And you know what? You guys sent me a great question, and I think next Saturday, not this Saturday, I have my daughter Kendra will be on the show to promote her short film on bullying. It's more like a rockumentary. She uses music, and she did everything herself. So be sure to tune in this Saturday, 1 p.m., to hear Kendra and I discuss her short film on bullying. Where's my notes? There it is. Yeah, again, love the groovy start, and it, the start is very good. Doom, 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 doom. It's a very inspirational song, Limitless. Brings me back to the 70s when listening, when I used to listen to the 8-tracks in my parents' cars. I don't know why. Maybe it's that, synthesizer or keyboard that you got going in the background. But it brings me back to the 8-track days of the 70s, yet nestles me in the current. I don't know. It's hard. Sometimes it's hard to translate into words what I'm thinking or feeling, but I think you can all understand what I'm saying. And again, great harmonies in Limitless. The percussions are dead on. Love the percussions. And of course, the lyrics. The lyrics in this song are excellent. Listen to these songs more than once, Naughty Nation, and again, you'll hear something different every time. Something different will stand out to you. Just like on Dark Beauty's Fall from Grace album, I listen to those songs every day. They're in my phone also, and something different stands out in each song. To me, that's a great piece of music. I don't know. Don't you think so? Don't you think that if you got a song that sounds the same every time, it gets a little boring? Don't you get bored with that song? But a band that can, or a musician that can, or a band of musicians can, if they can make a song, a piece of music, and every time you listen to that piece of music, something different stands out to you, doesn't that make it a great piece of music to you? I don't know. Doesn't it keep you interested? It does for me. And so far, every song that I've played for you by the Third Bridge has done just that. It has kept I listened to them just now with you, Naughty Nation. And like I said, they're all in my phone, but listening to the songs with you just now, something different jumped out, and I write down what jumps out at me. And in this one, listening to Limitless this time, the percussions were were very prevalent in my ear. So, great job, Third Bridge. Hats off to you, and I give you a big naughty for writing some great music, and hopefully you keep doing it. I mean, screw mainstream. If mainstream won't play you, fuck them. Because Nottywood show and the rest of us independent radio shows will play great music. And Third Bridge is writing just that. Now, next Tuesday, I'm also going to introduce some more new music. I got so many bands that have sent me music, and keep them coming. That's what I love. I love to be able to spread the wealth and be your music pimp. But next Tuesday, a very, very talented Samuel DiBattista. I will be airing some of his stuff. Sorry, Sammy, I couldn't get you on this week, the downloads and stuff like that. I got a little busy. But next week, new music from several different independent musicians. Okay, it's time for another song. Could this be the one? Could this be the world premiere of Years That Have Changed You? Could it be? Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Naughty Nation, here we go. Here is Just a Fantasy. So it is not the world premiere. Just a Fantasy. This song is a great little story, I think. I don't know. When I hear this song, I get to thinking about the past and how it relates to the future. I don't know why. I'm not sure. Obviously, we never know when a musician writes lyrics what their intent is. They might have their own personal agenda or story that they're telling, but it might translate differently between person to person. And that's another fascinating thing about music, is that it is translated differently depending on who's listening to the song. But this one is, the next song we're going to play is Just a Fantasy. I think this song really shows the talent between Craig and Scott in their vocal styling. So let's check it out, and I'll be right back to discuss it a little bit more.
Just a fantasy before my eyes. Oh no, in my mind there is this place I go when I'm in pain. It's a hidden starlit place I've learned to call my friend. Can you see the wonder in it? Can you even try? Or is it just a fantasy before my eyes? Oh no, carousels of dancing flowers. Could this be like second sight? Watching minutes turn to hours, shadows turn to light. Hey, can you see me? Hey, can you come with me? Comforting and warm. Time stands still, surrealist scenes of pure artistic form. Can you
Just a Fantasy from The Third Bridge. Love the backing vocals in this. I think you can tell in this song how Craig and Scott, not only do they have different tones or intonations in their vocals, but somehow they make it work. And like a magician, we don't want to know all the secrets, because then it might take away from the intrigue or the mystery of how they make it work. But they do make it work. And this song showcases that vocal talent of how they harmonize together. Again, the guitaring in this song is excellent. And I'm sure both of them are playing guitar. I think I'm right on that, right, Craig and Scott? Right? Yes, okay. So, yeah, the guitar in this song is excellent. I love the little crunchy sound. It gives it that rock edge sound, if you will. And then there's that pitch change a little bit into the song, which is very hard to do. I've always wanted to be a singer, and I'm just tone deaf, so I can't do it. But that pitch change is very difficult. I can imagine is very difficult to go from one pitch and then jump up, especially if you're going to go higher. Going lower, going lower in pitch, I would think is easier than going from a low tone to a high tone. I think there's more room for error and cracking and stuff like that. And again, in this song, the percussion. Outstanding job. The percussion is excellent. Now, I just got to interject and do a program note. You got to check out Saturdays at 7 p.m. Check out my pal's show On the Street with Wayne Matrano. It's a great show, and I'm sure he's going to have some people on to discuss the election that is taking place. I'm sure some of the polls are starting to close by the time this show ends. So check out Wayne Matrano right here on Cyberstation USA every Saturday from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Then I've got my buddy Mike, Mad Dog Mike. He does the yearbook. Check that out. I think that's on Saturdays. Mike's going to kill me. I forget what day he's on, but go to dqrm.com and hit the show page, the show list page, and it lists all the shows and when they're on. But this hour is about The Third Bridge, and we've been talking about The Third Bridge for the entire hour. We've played 4 of their songs from The Third Bridge, and went a little bit into the training they had, and the different musical styling and influences, and it's pretty neat how, again, I'm focusing on this because I found it very interesting when I learned this. You've got Scott classically trained in music theory, and then Craig self-taught, and they come together. And their love of music brings them together, and they make some pretty unique sounding music. And Naughty Nation, this is what it's about. You got to get to their page. If you just heard one of their songs or any of their music for the first time, get there and make sure. Let's support these independent musicians. I mean, they're doing it on their dime. They don't got RCA or Geffen backing them with millions of dollars. They're doing it on their own dime, just like all of us independent radio show hosts. We do it on our dime, our time. We all have jobs and families and stuff like that take up time and space. Yet Scott and Craig go into a studio, I believe Craig's house, and on whenever spare time they have, and they lay down some tracks and write some songs, and they put it out there for us to enjoy. And then you've got the independent radio show hosts like Justin Sayin up in Maine, Radio Float over in India, 360 Radio, and the Nottywood Show right here on Cyberstation. We take their music and we share it with you. It's called networking. It's called evolution. And this, I remember when I was a teenager trying to play in a band and get radio play, it was a bitch. We didn't have the internet. We didn't have the technology that's available at our fingertips, where I could just send my song to, Rich Mahogany of the Nottywood Show, and then 2 or 3 days later hear that song being played over the internet, which is a global audience. So not only do I want you to spread the word about the bands that I share with you, I want you to spread the word about Cyberstation USA, the Nottywood Show, Wavelight. Let's get this thing going, okay? I need you to be my army. You're out there on the front lines. I mean, I can do it. Third Bridge is doing it. I got an email from one of my other band that I work with saying that doing stuff like this, the whole tagging bands and sharing, bands links and stuff could be, I don't know, construed it as spamming, but it's not. I disagree vehemently. I think it's called strength in numbers. And I think that the more we band together, the more prevalent internet radio will be. And it is the future. Let's face it, the future is here, actually. And eye is upon you. I love that song. Just like I love the songs we played here by the Third Bridge. Observations, Vectors, Limitless, Just a Fantasy. Wait a minute. You're saying, wait a minute, Rich Mahogany, the show's almost over and we've yet to hear the world premiere. Well, kids, it's coming. It could be coming right now. Nope, just kidding. It could be right now. Nope. I love teasing. It's like foreplay. Tickle, tickle, tickle. Rub, rub, rub. Nibble, nibble, nibble. And then I hit you with it. I think it's about time. No, not yet. I still gotta go over recap. I'm sorry. I was reading my notes. I still gotta recap the first hour. So, this is what we heard in hour one. For those of you that didn't show up or were late, in hour one, we heard Jack Stowe, The Blues is Calling. Then we heard the Sun Pilots with Chapter 5, Rain. Then we heard Notoriety with Choosing Control, featuring Rael. Then we heard Tempting Fates, Mutilation Line. Then we heard the New Face of Democracy from Dirty Uncles. Then we heard nothing, because it was the end of hour one. But we've come up on to the world premiere of the Third Bridge's new single, Years That Have Changed You. Thank you, Scott and Craig, for allowing me to world premiere your new single. I appreciate it. Naughty Nation, here it is. And remember what I always say, live, laugh, love, listen to music, and smiles will be abundant. Naughty. Naughty.
I guess I don't know you no more. Were you around during the war? A mission of peace and love. Now you are just like they were. You used to say we'll get by somehow. The only thing that matters to you now is what can I do for you? Now you're the money maker. Can't you see your bridge is burning? Carry on like nothing's happened. Loving your suburban dream. I am not like you, I can't be. Oh no, I know I can't be. Years it have changed, you have not changed me. What happened, I guess we'll never know. I wonder why certain people go. Apart from their hopes and dreams, wasn't that too much to we used to be living for now. It seems we have changed this somehow. What happened to